It is now the second Sunday of Easter, also known as Divine Mercy Sunday. And I hope everybody has been able to truly celebrate this octave of Easter in some way, so that we can remind ourselves of the tremendous blessings that God has bestowed upon us, not the least of which is His mercy. As I start my reflection on the readings, once again invite you to pause this video and to read the readings for this Sunday's Mass if you haven't already done so. You can find them at usccb.org if you need a place to get them. The Gospel recounts for us the familiar story of the apostles gathered together in fear when the Lord appears in their midst. His first words are, "Peace be with you." He's saying this to them at a moment in which I'm not sure that they were really feeling too much peace. The Gospel tells us that they're overjoyed at seeing Jesus, but I cannot help but wonder what other thoughts are also going through their minds, what questions are arising for them. And all of those questions that might arise at a moment like that naturally, but it doesn't take away their joy. I think it's important for us to remember that right now, because far too often we let many things rob us of joy. What does this say about us? I don't have an answer to that question, but it's worthy of our consideration. But the other essential component of the gospel, the thing that we perhaps focus on even more, is the story of Thomas. He wasn't there when Jesus appears to them the first time. And the first thing the apostles tell him when they see him is, "We have seen the Lord." Of course, he doesn't believe it, as we know. When reading the gospel, we're often focused upon doubting Thomas, as we call him. I think in so many ways we focus upon Thomas because we can relate to him. We want to know. We want to see. We want to experience. We want these reassurances. But I want us to focus our attention upon that actual greeting of the apostles. We have seen the Lord. Those who were present wanted to share what they experienced, share what they had received. This is what it should be for us too, that we need to share the gift that we have been given, to share the gifts that we have received, and to open ourselves up that we might experience the Lord in new ways. As I mentioned at the beginning, the Sunday is known as Divine Mercy Sunday. It is a time when we can reflect upon the tremendous gift God has given us in the person of Jesus. His mercy is so necessary in our lives. St. Peter, in the second reading, reminds us that God's mercy gives us a new birth to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. Of course, this is what we celebrate in this Easter season, that Jesus has risen from the dead. But it's God's mercy that restores us to that life of grace which we need to fully enter into His kingdom. God's mercy is what allows us to live out the very gift of faith given to us in baptism. We have to make a continual choice to live out this gift of God's mercy poured out for us. Jesus' death and resurrection are the ultimate sign of His love for us. But how we choose to live that out on a daily basis says much more about who we are as people of faith. Are we going to be like Thomas and say, unless I see whatever it is that we're expecting to see? Or are we going to be like the other apostles who recognize their encounter with the Lord and share it with one another? Now, it's true that the apostles' experience of the Lord's presence is different from what we experience. St. Peter's letter, it says, although you have not seen him, you love him. Even though you do not see him now, you believe in him. You rejoice with indescribable and glorious joy as you attain the goal of your faith, the salvation of your souls. That's what we're all about. The salvation of our souls, the salvation of the souls of everyone around us. This is what we are directed to in faith. God's mercy is about the salvation of souls. This is why Jesus came into the world. that we might experience that gift and come to something new and greater than we could accomplish or figure out on our own. So let us choose to live in the gift of God's mercy. Let us choose to live each day because of his mercy. Let us truly rejoice because of it and show mercy to those that we encounter. And even though we may not see him in the same way, let us proclaim with the apostles that we too have seen the Lord and have experienced his mercy in real and tangible ways, that we might then be willing to share that with one another each and every day.